Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
I'ma make you suffer this charge.
Greetings.
All of my haters are sipping fake tea. I'ma make them suffer they some palms.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
All of my haters are sipping fake tea. It's getting real dangerous like Drake's Passage.
Good morning.
All of my haters going the wrong way. Deep in their heart, they know they're jealous of me. I got them running from me like a tidal wave. All the Zeus hate came out of nowhere. I'm talking next level, take another stare. Talking about me like I really care. I air you haters out, leave you on a chair. What you say is make believe, sipping on that fake tea. Talking kinda crazy when you on that fake tea. Now it's time to take it back, you know I'm your favorite. Look at who I came with, all you haters hating.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
All you haters is hating.
Augustus, good morning. How are you doing? We're back in the Thunderdome. Let's go. Queen Flea, good morning.
All of my haters is sipping fake tea.
Yeah, don't sit there.
I'ma make them suffer this palms.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Zena, welcome.
Somebody needs to tell me that step
All right, we're going to try to get through it real quickly today. We have an exciting day. Back to business.
Like it was a phone. No dial tone, send them straight to voicemail.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this show started.
All my haters gossip cause they lose.
All right, it's showtime. Let's go.
I feel like I'm stuck in a cycle.
Right. I do feel like I'm stuck in a cycle. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
And I can't escape it.
Yeah, it really is like a curse.
It's like deja vu. It's me.
Let's
It's
go.
deja vu when I'm running up the grass.
I'm like the Terminator screaming, I'll be back.
It's deja vu when I'm out here flying first class. It's like every week I gotta take out the trash. I'm on top of my game, ahead of the class. You can tell that I made it, look at my grass. Cars in the garage with tanks full of gas. I play the game so raw, I won't finish last.
Right.
Sitting in my living room screaming how we made it.
This is how it's supposed to happen when you're rich and famous. The algorithm turns you to a maniac. Good morning, ladies and
We
gentlemen.
going viral cause my zodiac.
I got all these numbers on my spreadsheet. Benjamin Franklin is my bestie. Cold as the day, Barber's Pain. We don't vote red over here. This is a Democrat live. This is all about truth, all right? So just zip it. Philly Chica. Good morning, CC. Here he goes.
I'll tell you what, I've gone into Zeus's last
Lies.
realistic. That shit was radical.
It was.
It
was horrible.
I'm like, you gone.
Zeus is going way off the rails. Oh, cut it out. Yeah, yeah. I stay off the rails, and I do that for you.
It's like deja vu. It's like deja vu.
Like deja vu.
It's deja vu when I'm
All right, all right.
I'm like the Terminator screaming.
All right, go ahead and kill the music,
It's
DJ.
deja vu when I'm
Go ahead and kill the music, DJ. All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Once again, we are back in the Thunderdome to take care of some official state government business, all right? And so before we get started with that, let's just take care of some housekeeping items, all right? I'm going to try to keep you... I won't try to keep you that long today because I got other things that I need to do, number one. But then number two, we have an exciting day, right? There's a lot going on. First things first, for those of you who do not know who I am, I go by the name Zeus, or as some like to say, Triple H. And why do they call me Triple H, ladies and gentlemen? Good morning, Tracy. The first H is because I'm honest, all right? There's nobody more honest than me on social media, all right? You might as well pretend like I got my hand on a stack of Bibles over here. That's how honest I am, all right? The second H, ladies and gentlemen, is because I am humble. There's nobody more humble than me. Listen, if I get it wrong, I will be the first to apologize. It just turns out I haven't been wrong lately, and that's just how the cookie crumbles, all right? And then the last and the final H, ladies and gentlemen, is, you guessed it, I am and will always remain the most handsome. I really am. Now, many of you are very familiar with what we do over here on this side of town, on this side of TikTok. What we do is very, very special, all right? We hold our friends on the right, especially their cult leader, Donald J. Trump, accountable for their dirty, disgusting, filthy deeds as well as their crimes. And believe you me, isn't it safe to say that our friends on the right, when it comes to crimes and things like that, bad things and disgusting acts, isn't it safe to say they got a monopoly on that stuff, right? And so what we like to do is hold them accountable and make sure that they understand no matter how many times you try to change the subject, no matter how many ways you try to spin it, we're not buying it. We will still hold your feet to the fire until justice is served, possibly on a nice platter, right? And so listen up. If you are a Trump supporter, or as my good friend, Brother Swervin likes to say, you're lactose intolerant. That means you're allergic to the facts. You might want to leave this live and go on and hang out with those fake TikTok hosts. You know who they are. Those fake TikTok attorneys and lawyers. You know who they are, right? You know who these people are. These people who get out here on TikTok day in and day out and lie to you about what's really going on in the world at your expense. Yeah, you pay these people. I see you send them gifts, and they lie to you. You should go hang out with them because we won't lie to you over here. We're going to tell it like it is, all right? And it's going to make you very, very uncomfortable. Now, get this. I like to tell the Trump supporters that come to my live, if you are hungry, this is how my live impacts you. If you were hungry, good morning, Jackie, you're not going to be so hungry after Zeus gets done with you, all right? That's just how this works, all right? If you were happy, you're not going to feel so happy after Zeus gets done with you. And why is that? Because that's what happens when the truth, penetrates your cerebral cortex up here, and it really starts to sink in. Sometimes it takes hours before you understand what I'm doing to you, but trust me, it's a good thing. And so I'll say this last part, and then we'll get started. You don't have to take my word for it, right? I tell you all the time, all the time. You don't have to take my word for this, all right? Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave.
Right.
If you're not happy in the U.S.,
right,
if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now.
Right.
Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
Bingo, 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 bingo. Hold on. If you're not happy in the United States of America, do me a huge favor. Leave. Nothing bothers me more than to know that we have citizens of this country right now crying because of Joe Biden. And when you ask them, what exactly has Joe Biden done to you? Where has he touched you, right? So to speak. They never can produce any evidence to explain why they're frustrated. A lot of you folks that are out here blaming Joe Biden for what's going on in your personal life, I really am going to ask you, go look at what choices you've been making for the past maybe 4 or 5 years and ask yourself, was Joe Biden really a part of those decisions, right? And 10 times out of 10, you're going to have to come to the conclusion, if you're being honest, that Joe Biden had nothing to do with it. Sort of like this knucklehead right here, who is sitting in a courtroom right now. I would say he's fighting for his freedom, but the way he behaves, I'm actually thinking he is voluntarily surrendering himself to the criminal justice system because he knows there's really no defense to his behavior that he's actually been engaged in for the past few decades, right? And he wants to blame Joe Biden for it. Okay, so what part of this are we going to blame Joe Biden for, Mr. Former President? Are you going to blame him for hooking up with Stormy Daniels in Lake Tahoe? Is that what you're going to blame Joe Biden for? Are you going to blame Joe Biden for you writing those checks to Michael Cohen? Mr. Former President, are you going to blame Joe Biden? Okay, because you were supposed to divest yourself from the presidency. You remember you came on the TV, you had all those papers that says, this is my business. Now that I'm president, I will no longer participate in it. But then you got on, then we find out in this court case that you were writing checks from the White House and sending them via FedEx. This guy is nothing but trouble, if you ask me. You're going to blame Joe Biden for that, Mr. Former President? Wake up, MAGA. The end is near and the end is here. And I promise you, you'll be a lot happier. You'll be more patriotic the moment you decide to let Donald Trump go, all right? And so, before we get started with today's show, I want to, this is what's going on today, right? We got closing arguments, right? And so, there's a couple of things that I want to say to you all about these closing arguments. Number one, I got a little bit of a preview that I think we should just go through together in terms of what the prosecution is possibly going to say to the jury to help them understand your job really isn't that hard. All you have to do is take the evidence and apply it and have the courage to convict this deranged monster. And I believe that this jury will do it because the evidence speaks volumes. So listen, this is a sample of what Alvin Bragg, you know who Alvin Bragg is. This is just a nice quick sample of what he may say to the jury. All right, so please bear with me. And this is for you Trump supporters, because I don't want you going into another live today on TikTok and using that silly argument of, I didn't know. Oh no, Zeus, I've never heard of that. I'm taking it away from you this morning. So listen up. All right. Closing arguments for the prosecution of Donald Trump's hush money trial. I want to make sure, and this is how he's going to present it to the jurors. Esteemed members of the court, once again, we're at a critical juncture here in American history. The evidence presented over the course of this trial has painted a vivid picture, one that reveals a web of deception, right? Cover-ups, falsified records, orchestrated by none other than former President Donald J. Trump. So let us have a recap of some of the key points that underscore the case. Michael Cohen's testimony, right? Michael Cohen, Trump's former attorney and fixer, directly tied Donald Trump to the alleged cover-up payments. Cohen's credibility remains unshaken despite the defense's attempt to undermine it. Cohen's memory of a phone call with Donald Trump back in late October 2016, where he discussed the Stormy Daniels payments, remains consistent. Text messages and phone logs corroborate this crucial conversation. Witnesses that were not heard from. This is going to be something the defense tries to bring up, but I want to say this. We do acknowledge that the jury did not hear from certain witnesses during this trial. However, their absence does not negate the facts. For instance, Alan Weisselberg, the Trump Organization CFO, and Dylan Howard, they had a former top editor of the National Enquirer. They were both present during key moments. You know, when they met in Trump Tower to discuss how to put the scheme together. All right, Keith Schiller, Donald Trump's former bodyguard, also holds valuable information, and his silence speaks volumes. No crime, no false documents. Think again. The defense argues that there was no crime, right? You know, he gets out of court and he says, legal scholars said there's no crime. This is a grave injustice. All right. And that the documents were not false. But let's be clear. Michael Cohen was Donald Trump's attorney, and he continued to work for him all the way into 2017. The payments were hush money, plain and simple. The 34 allegedly falsified documents, meticulously analyzed by the prosecution, reveals a deliberate attempt to conceal the truth. These records tie directly to Michael Cohen's testimony. Now let's talk about Stormy Daniels and the 2016 campaign. Stormy Daniels, we all know who this woman is, received hush money in the final days of Donald Trump's 2016 presidential campaign. And guess what? Donald Trump directed Michael Cohen to make these payments, right? The cover-up was not only unethical, but it was also illegal, all right? And our duty is to seek justice regardless of the defendant's status. So in conclusion, all right, we encourage you to consider the weight of the evidence before you. The truth cannot be obscured by legal maneuvering or smoke screens. Donald Trump, like any other citizen, must be held accountable for his actions. The 34 felony counts of falsifying business records demand justice. And remember your oath to uphold the law and to seek truth. And we do believe that you will render the right verdict, which is guilty for Donald J. Trump, right? That's what Alvin Bragg is going to lay out to the jury, all right? And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you know what we got to do? We got to kick this show off the old-fashioned way. Join me in giving Donald Trump and his supporters what they deserve bright and early, because I guarantee you, there's a supporter out there this morning that still thinks Donald Trump is innocent. I guarantee you there's a supporter out there that still thinks this is a witch hunt, right? Are there any Trump supporters out there that believe this is a witch hunt still? I'm looking. Is there any Trump supporters that believe Donald Trump is Ray, there he is, Ray, right there, Ray and Hobbs, all right? So what we're going to do is help Ray and Hobbs, ladies and gentlemen, understand this isn't a witch hunt, all right? This isn't a two-tier justice system. This is good old-fashioned American justice at work. Join me in giving these Trump supporters what they deserve. Our first honorable round of booze and shame. I have no reason to lie to you. I was going to say this. Let me say something real quickly. So before we move a little, because there's a point I want to make that I want to make about this. Number one, not a winning argument. All right, and this is what they're saying. Ex-federal prosecutor is explaining why the jury instructions will sway the Trump trial. Before Manhattan jurors begin their deliberations in the Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg's hush money falsified business record case against Donald Trump, they will be given instructions by Justice Juan Merchan, all right, and former federal prosecutor Glenn Kirshner, all right, laid out some reasons why the instructions are so important as the trial winds down, all right? And this is what a lot of people who don't know how the criminal justice system, they don't understand that it's one thing to bring the case, but then the jury instructions, that's a completely different ball game. What they got to do is they got to take that evidence that came out in trial and map it into those jury instructions and then make a decision. And by the way, as far as I'm concerned, Donald Trump is as good as cooked. This is what he had to say. He says, so I tell you, lawyers will pore over and obsess over the instructions of law because both parties will propose often competing instructions. And Judge Juan Merchan had to decide which ones to give in to. All right. Kirshner predicted that Trump's defense team during closing arguments will present a reasonable doubt argument where they haven't presented a unified alternate theory to the prosecution's theory of the case. All right. They're probably going to argue that you should disbelieve everybody. You should disbelieve every piece of evidence. You know what? It reminds me, this is what I wanted to do. Glenn Kirshner, he dropped some new lingo on Zeus when I listened to him. It's called arguing in the alternative, all right? And for those of us who continue to engage these Trump supporters online and try to have conversations with them, this might be a helpful thing or a helpful concept to keep it in mind when you're dealing with Trump supporters on TikTok. All right. And listen to how arguing in the alternative works. Go ahead, Glenn Kirshner.
Will make during the course of the closing argument. So here is the box in which the defense now finds itself. They're going to have to do something in closing arguments that we refer to as arguing in the alternative. And I'm going to give you an example of how Trump's attorney may have to argue in the alternative in Trump's closing argument. But let me start with a more relatable example, one that I've seen many times as a former prosecutor, of a defense attorney arguing in the alternative. Let's use a readily relatable example, a murder case. I have seen defense attorneys in murder cases I tried stand up and argue in closing to the jury, ladies and gentlemen, my client did not kill the victim. But if he did it in self-defense. Those kind of arguments in the alternative are not well received by jurors, even if there's a little bit of a question regarding the identity of the killer and a little bit of a question regarding whoever the killer is. That person might have acted in self-defense. the defense will argue in the alternative, but those two arguments cancel each other out.
Bingo.
Because the jurors feel like you're trying to pull the wool over our eyes. How can you argue to us, he didn't do it, but if he did it in self-defense? We don't believe either of those two claims. They negate one another.
Bingo.
And in a common sense view of the evidence, they can negate one another. But arguing in the alternative is something defense attorneys do, all the time in different cases and different contexts. Here's how Donald Trump's attorneys are, in essence, going to have to argue in the alternative, particularly because Donald Trump will not allow them to give an inch. They're going to present an argument that in substance, they'll try to gussy it up and hide what they're really doing, but in substance, it will be an argument along these lines.
Here we go.
If you're Donald Trump, Donald Trump will contend, I never had an encounter with Stormy Daniels. But if I did, there were no hush money payments. But if there were, I didn't know anything about the hush money payments. But if I did, I didn't falsify any business records to cover up the hush money payments. But if I did, it was all to protect Melania's feelings.
Oh.
So maybe it's just a misdemeanor and not a felony because it violated campaign finance and election laws. That kind of arguing in the alternative, which I predict you're going to see some of or read the reporting about some of that going on in the defense attorney's closing argument, that rarely plays well with a jury because they feel like they're being duped, like there's a little bait and switch going on, and there is. And that's why I think because Donald Trump's defense attorney opened on he never had an encounter, the minute the jury believes they've been lied to, and the evidence proves that they have been lied to in that regard, they're not going to be receptive to all these other secondary and tertiary arguments that the defense tries to offer them to help Donald Trump weasel out of the crimes he committed.
You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? So arguing in the alternative seems to be what the defense is banking on. And actually, this is what MAGA does on TikTok all day. He didn't break the law, but if he did, it was justified, right? That's the thing they like to do. And guess what? It's a no-fly zone in here, and it's going to be a no-fly zone in the jury room, all right? In the courtroom, all right? And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, join me in giving Donald Trump and his supporters what they deserve. Another round of booze and shame because they believe that arguing in the alternative is an effective defense, but they don't realize what it signals is they're guilty. Let's give them some booze and shame. I don't argue in the alternative. Nope. You can argue in the alternative, MAGA.
Silence!
Thank you.
You MAGA demon!
Yeah. See, I don't argue in the alternative, ladies and gentlemen, but MAGA loves to, and as far as I'm concerned, it's a complete waste of my time, all right? I'm not going down in rabbit holes with you folks anymore. What, we all going to end up in a ditch? Absolutely not. Now, let's move on to another situation that transpired, and you all heard about it. Yesterday, Donald Trump went onto his social media platform, the one that's going broke. It's going broke, right? Truth Social's going down the drain, ladies and gentlemen. And he defamed E. Jean Carroll again. It's like he can't keep her name out of his mouth, right? And this is the thing about this thing with E. Jean Carroll. The behavior that Donald Trump continues to display towards women like E. Jean Carroll, to me, it explains why, a lot of ladies who support Donald Trump are going through a lot of hard times personally, right? You're out there and you got people out there you feel like aren't showing you the respect you want and need and deserve, right? I think part of it is because when you openly promote and endorse Donald Trump, and I'm saying this to the women out there, when you openly support this guy, what you may not understand you're doing is you're giving men that are also supporters of his You're giving them the green light to disrespect you because they're going to say to themselves, if Donald Trump treats women like this, then I can treat women like this. All right. So ladies out there, if you support Donald Trump, I want you to ponder on that. All right. Donald Trump has already lost 2 defamation lawsuits brought against him by magazine writer E. Jean Carroll, and he may be in for a 3rd one after his Memorial Day attack on the woman who was found to have been SA'd by Donald Trump. Again, she was SA'd by Donald Trump. Listen, I hate TikTok. It doesn't let you show the full message, all right? Trump on Monday posted a lengthy attack labeled as a Memorial Day post. Happy Memorial Day to all, including the human scum. Wow. 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 I mean, this is your leader, MAGA. This is your leader. This is the person that you have to go sit in church and say you are voting for and ask God to go ahead and endorse that. Absolutely not. All right. Human scum that is working so hard to destroy our once great country, and to the radical left, Trump-hating federal judge in New York that presided over, get this, 2 separate trials that awarded a woman who I never met before a quick handshake at a celebrity event. 25. So listen, this is arguing in the alternative, who I never met before, but then he says a quick handshake at a celebrity event 25 years ago doesn't count. Gosh dang, Donald Trump really doesn't think his supporters are smart. This is getting out of hand. He goes, $91 million for defamation, he wrote, referring to E. Jean Carroll case. Notice he left out the S.A., right? He left out the S.A. It wasn't just defamation. It was S.A., all right? The New York Times, Maggie Haberman, also spent a significant amount of time with Trump and continues to have sources close to the ex-president campaign followed up on that. After Trump, who arrived in New York last night, attacked E. Jean Carroll again on Truth Social today, her lawyer, Roberta Kaplan, says, quote, we have said several times since the last jury verdict in January that all options were on the table, and that remains true to this day. All options are on the table. How many of you out there think E. Jean Carroll should take Donald Trump back to court for a 3rd time and get more money out of him? Put a 1 in the chat if you think E. Jean Carroll should take Donald Trump to court again and get the rest of the money. How many of you think that? Please put a 1 in the chat if you believe E. Jean Carroll should take Donald Trump to the court once again and get more money because he continues to defame her. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Look at all these people in the audience that are saying 1. We got over 70. Look at that. We're at 75. Look at this. Okay, we got 600 plus people in here. We got 80. Look at, oh, wow. Wow. Everyone in here believes Donald Trump, E. Jean Carroll should be cleaning Donald Trump's clock because once again, he's defaming her. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, okay, we're at 118. Join me in giving Donald Trump what he deserves. Another round of booze and shame because he does not respect women. Let's give it to him. Rock his pockets. Listen, I keep telling you Trump supporters to leave Zeus alone and I'll be easy. But every time I try to be easy with MAGA, y'all turn around and y'all get me worked up again. So then I got to go hard in the paint. And that's what we're doing today, okay? So guess what, MAGA? I got some more bad news for you about your cult leader. Maybe you haven't heard it. Maybe he hasn't posted it on Truth Social, but this is coming from a credible source. Donald Trump sells a $10 million jet to a MAGA mega donor amid his steep legal fees. Uh-oh. You know you're broke when you got to start selling stuff, right? You know, a lot of us have been on hard times. We all have had hard times. When you're broke, and this is a sign someone's really going broke, right? This is a sign you're going broke. Your stocks aren't performing that well. You're getting taken you're going to court, money leaving, money bleeding out of your accounts. You only got one thing left. You got to start looking at those things you call assets and start liquidating them bad boys, right? And this is the same person that is trying to be president of the United States. Now, if he's going to sell his private jet, you know what he'll do once he becomes president and he gets desperate, right? So let's not pretend. All right, Donald Trump's legal troubles have left him with hundreds of millions of dollars in fees. And despite how wealthy he claims to be, the ex-president is depending on Republican National Committee donors to help ease the financial stress. Donald Trump has averaged more than $90,000 a day. Can you say this, MAGA? $90,000 a day in legal related costs for more than 3 years. None of it paid for with his own money. Whew. MAGA, $90,000 a day. That's more than a lot of you make in a year. He's blowing it in a day. He's blowing it like he blows his nose. It's nothing to him. And it's your money he's doing it with. Instead, the former president has relied almost entirely on donations made in an attempt to fight the results of the 2020 election. Now those accounts are nearly drained, and Mr. Trump faces a choice: begin to pay his own substantial legal fees or find another way to finance them. All right? The Daily Beast reported Monday that MAGA mega donor Medrad Mayadi has purchased the former president's $10 million jet. Wow. The Iranian-American construction and development tycoon who owns Centurion American Custom Homes, the Beast reports in 2019 and 2020, gave a combined $245,000 to Donald Trump's victory, a committee that raised money for the Trump campaign. The Republican National Committee state GOP party sending the maximum allowable $5,600 contribution to the campaign. All right. Per news outlet, Federal Aviation Administration records show that on May 13th, the aircraft's registration changed from Trump's organization's DT Air Corp to a Texas entity called MM Fleet Holdings, LLC. State records tie that company to Murad Mayadi, an Iranian-American construction and development tycoon who lives near Dallas and runs Centurion American Custom Homes. You know, MAGA, everything that glitters isn't gold, and I am pretty sure Donald Trump will be selling a lot more than this as we get closer and closer to the election. You know what's so sad is he didn't go on the Truth Social and brag that he sold this plane and is making money hand over fist, which only means he's embarrassed and he's ashamed of himself because he knows he's being exposed for what he is: a liar, a grifter, and he's not rich like you think he is. This guy's going broke faster than you can blink. And so what I want to do, ladies and gentlemen, is ask you to help me once again give Donald Trump and his supporters what they deserve, because they still think this guy they still think he's the wealthy businessman. They still think he's successful despite all this evidence that we see that says otherwise. Let's give him another round of boos and shame. Listen, I gotta open up these boxes. All right, I'm gonna open up the boxes real soon, but I wanna make sure I cover a couple of quick topics before I get out of here. All right. Let's see. Well, wait a second. Just a quick update, MAGA. Check this out. Biden is leading Donald Trump in presidential polling average for the first time since October. Now, you notice. Now, I guarantee you, MAGA doesn't want to go and believe this. They're going to go back to whatever rock they crawled from under and say Zeus is lying. This is why I don't ever give MAGA any facts. When I go into these lives and they ask me questions, I will never really want to give them facts, because I know that everything that I give them, they're going to turn around and try to deny and say somehow it's corrupt and misinformation. No, it's not. All right, President Joe Biden is leading Donald Trump in presidential polls for the first time since October, according to the Hill/Decision Desk HQs. All right, the latest average of polls. Biden is ahead of the former president by 0.1%. He's polling at 45% support to Donald Trump's 44.5%. Right? Let's give another round of applause to President Biden. And you know what, MAGA? It's going to get worse. This is just my prediction. By the end of this week, possibly, or maybe sooner, right? The jury in New York will definitely, hopefully, be holding Donald Trump accountable. And once that happens, his poll numbers are going down the drain. I really do believe that. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you know, these Trump supporters, they're real quiet today. Right? Normally they're in my live and they're crying. I mean, they're yelling and they're saying nasty things, but they've been mighty quiet because they know the end is here, right? So guess what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen? Join me once again in giving Donald Trump and his supporters, the legion of MAGA demons that they are, another round of boos and shame. Only a traitor would vote for Donald Trump. I agree. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, all right? And this is what, this is what they're saying in the mass media or in the mainstream media, and it's true. Donald Trump is taking unthinkable risk by palling around with criminals. Donald Trump is openly associating with accused criminals and convicted felons as he leans into an outlaw image. Oh, he wants to be a thug? Wow. And we've seen Donald Trump doing this, right? The former president and presumptive Republican presidential nominee has rallied alongside two rap performers accused of conspiracy to commit unaliving, promised to commute the sentences of an internet dealer, pledged to pardon the J6 rioters, and he is embracing criminality after being charged with more than 88 felony charges and indicted 4 times. I don't think people appreciate the degree to which Trump has embraced the image of lawlessness in this campaign, said former Republican strategist Tim Miller, who worked for Jeb Bush's presidential campaign. His guests present a vetting decision that would have been unthinkable in the past campaigns. Trump has campaigned in the past on law and order, but dozens of his allies have now been charged with attempting to subvert the 2020 election results, and hundreds of his followers have been charged with storming the United States Capitol to prevent a peaceful transfer of power. And his supporters have violently threatened prosecutors and officers of the court involved in cases against him. He either does not know the truth, which is reckless, or he knows the truth and lied about it, which is abhorrent, said Chuck Rosenberg. All right? He cares very much about wielding power, but not in the service of some greater good. Rather, he wants power, including over the Justice Department, to benefit himself and his friends and to harm others. He sees that power as only appropriate in his hands. That is a rich corruption of the rule of law and ought to mean this country is in deep, dangerous territory, right? So guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You know what we got to do since Donald Trump wants to be a thug? Since he wants to ride with his dogs to the pound, all right, let's help him out. Join me in giving him another round of boos and shame. Silence. Let him go.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
Look at that, I'm doing good on time. Normally I go over, right? I'm trying to get out today on schedule, all right? Because there's a lot going on. So before we round the corner, ladies and gentlemen, and open up the boxes, once again, it's with a heavy heart. We must revisit January 6th, all right? But before we get started with January 6th, you know what I got to do. I got to explain to the American people, especially those, this is your first time listening to this broadcast, the seriousness behind why I cover January 6th. I have to cover January 6th because it's not over. It didn't just happen, and it's something that we no longer talk about. Even to this day, there are people still being caught and prosecuted, all right, convicted and sentenced, all right, even to this day. So every day there's someone being brought to justice. I'm always going to provide an update, all right? And part of that means explaining what really happened on January 6th. There are still people, we're almost 4 years out. There are still people that believe Donald Trump's version, all right? They believe the big lie, and they believe that it was a peaceful protest. Even after you show them all the footage, even after you talk to them, they still believe it. And so what I like to do is make sure we put it down, all right? We put it in the history books, and we put it on wax, like they say when you go to the studio, so that it cannot be altered, and everyone will be able to understand it the way that a lot of us do, all right? And so with that being said, I want to remind you how it all got started. January 6th, ladies and gentlemen, happened because Donald Trump knew that he was going to lose the election. He knew he was going to lose. We were dealing with a pandemic, right? The economy was in shambles, and he was desperate. And because he's a criminal, he did what criminals do. He looks for schemes. All right. He looks for ways that gives him a one-up on his competitors, whether they're legal or not. He's going to do it. So the scheme began with the big lie. And many of you go, well, what's the big lie, Zeus?
It's a rigged election. It's the only way we're going to lose.
You want to talk to Zeus? Hold on. Oh, I didn't even start to cook. All right. Come on up here. You want to talk to Zeus? Come on up here. You demand. Zeus, bring Zeus. Okay, come on up here, MAGA demon. The Silverback'em. Ooh, I sent you an invite, but he didn't want to come up. I guess you thought twice about what was going to happen when you came up here, all right? So maybe you should just sit in the audience and listen. So maybe he's starting to have trauma. Yeah, this is how it happened.
It's a rigged election. It's the only way we're going to lose.
Right. That's the lie Donald Trump told all of his supporters, all right, going into the 2020 election cycle. And they had no reason to question him because, like the poorly educated folks they are, they believed it. They took everything he in. Yeah, it is a rigged election. That's the only way Donald Trump will lose because look at his rally sizes, right? They don't understand that the disdain, the distaste that the overwhelming majority of Americans have for Donald Trump outweighs their love for him. There's a lot more Americans that do not like Donald Trump than there are Americans that are worshiping him. And they don't get this. So what happens? Well, election night came and the results came, right? Was there a red wave? No, there was not. There was a blue tsunami and a big, big blue wall in states folks didn't expect. Donald Trump, in his last minute attempt to remain in power, instead of conceding to Joe Biden, he came out and did this.
We had such a big night. You just take a look at all of these states that we've won tonight, and then you take a look at the kind of margins that we've won them by. And all of a sudden, it's not like we're up 12 votes and we have 60% left. We won states, and all of a sudden, I said, what happened to the election? It's off. And we have all these announcers saying, what happened? And then they said, oh, because you know what happened? They knew they couldn't win. So they said, let's go to court. And did I predict this, Newt? Did I say this? I've been saying this from the day I heard they were going to send out tens of millions of ballots. I said exactly, because either they were going to win, or if they didn't win, they'll take us to court. So Florida was a tremendous victory.
Right. Did you hear him concede, ladies and gentlemen? Did you hear Donald Trump concede to Joe Biden? No. That little seed of doubt that he planted in the minds of his supporter, he put some water on it. But then he went one step further, ladies and gentlemen, and he decides, you know what, let's go ahead and put some fertilizer on that seed of doubt.
76,000 votes with almost nothing left. And all of a sudden everything just stopped. This is a fraud on the American public. This is an embarrassment to our country. We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election.
Right. So that's him convincing his supporters that he won the election. The next thing he does, ladies and gentlemen, you won't believe this. He decides to engage in another scheme called the fake elector scheme. You all remember this so-called perfect phone call?
I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have.
Right. So that's the fake elector scheme, ladies and gentlemen, right? That's the fake elector scheme. And so with those schemes in motion, we all remember what Donald Trump did, right? He decided now that his supporters are primed, they're wet and ready for him, why not get them to follow through with the next plan of action? And what is that next plan of action? Attention! All Trump supporters, this is Donald Trump assuming the role of the modern day Jefferson Davis. I lost to Joe Biden and I'm very, very angry. All right, so what I need for all of you to do especially you with those red hats, you little Trumpies of mine. I need you to sell everything that you have and send the proceeds to me. All right, because that would make me, your daddy, very happy. But then the second thing I'm going to need you all to do is I'm going to need you all to meet me in Washington, D.C. at an event that I am hosting called Stop the Steal. All right, this is going to be a big protest in Washington, D.C. Be there, will be wild. That was an invitation Donald Trump posted on Twitter at the time. It used to be called Twitter, right? And so what did his little soldiers do, ladies and gentlemen? I'll tell you what his little soldiers did, all right? Let me show you what his little soldiers did. I know. Bear with me. You know, I tell this story a little differently every time, but it's the same story. So his little soldiers decided to jump in the back of these things. You ever seen one of these, ladies and gentlemen? That's a U-Haul. Have any of you ever decided to ride in the back of a U-Haul? All right. I never thought it was a good idea, but apparently his soldiers said this is the easiest and most economical way for us to get to Washington, D.C. Two of you get in the front and the rest of us will get in the back. All right. And these grown men, they crammed in the back of this U-Haul like a bunch of sardines. I've never seen anything like this in my life. And you want to know who the MAGA demons were in the back of this U-Haul, ladies and gentlemen? I got a picture of them. Look at these MAGA demons right there, right? These are the same liars. These are the same hypocrites that during the pandemic, they would say, you go to the store and there was mask requirements at the store. Mask required in order to come to the store. They walk in with the mask like this, right? Soon as they get in the store, they lower the mask like this because they're protesting. They're silently protesting, right? And then you look at them and you see the little snot coming out of their nose. And you go, hey, sir, could you put the mask back up? Put the mask all the way over your nose, all right? So we don't catch your germ. Excuse me. They cough all over the produce section. Sir, what's going on? If you make me wear that mask, I can't breathe. I mean, these people were crashing out in the produce section. And they say, sir, seriously, you can't breathe? I could breathe. You see me wearing my mask? I can't breathe. All right. I'm going to a different store, right? I go to a different store, but then I get online and I look on Twitter. I look on Twitter and I see this guy right here, these guys. And I say, wait a second. These are the same MAGA demons during the pandemic that lied to me and said they can't breathe if you make them wear a mask. But when it's time to break the law and be racist, right? It seems like these MAGA demons get superpowers that allow them to breathe through the mask. This is why I say every Trump supporter that I ran into, for the most part, they're liars. See, I caught you in another lie, MAGA. All of a sudden, when it's time to be racist and commit crimes, you have no problem wearing a mask. This is why I don't really like wasting my energy trying to debate a lot of these fools. All right. So what happens next? They get to Washington, D.C. And what happens when they get to D.C.? Oh, you all remember B6, right? Marjorie Trader Green, Lieutenant Marge. She gives these MAGA demons their marching orders while they wait for their cult leader, Donald Trump. Listen to what Marjorie Trader Green tells the Trump supporters to do on January 6th.
Everything. If we flood the Capitol building, flood all the government buildings, go inside. These are public buildings. We own them. We own these buildings. Do you understand that? We own the buildings and we pay all the people that work in the building. Finished with our meetings here at the White House this afternoon. We had a great planning session for our January 6th objection. We aren't going to let this election be stolen by Joe Biden and the Democrats. President Trump won by a landslide. Call your House reps, call your senators from your states. We've got to make sure they're on board. We already have a lot of people engaged. Okay, stay tuned.
So that's Marjorie Trader Green instructing Donald Trump's supporters to do what, ladies and gentlemen? She was instructing them to go to the United States Capitol. All right? These Trump supporters are wet and ready for Donald Trump. If you don't believe me, just go look at the footage. So while they're waiting for Donald Trump at the ellipse, there's a scene that transpires at the White House, and I'll never, ever forget it, and you shouldn't either, between Donald Trump and his vice president, Mike Pence. He goes to Mike Pence and says, Mike Pence, I got the little scheme in motion. I got the fake elector scheme. Can you all say scheme? And I got my soldiers waiting for me at the ellipse. The only thing we need you to do, Pence, is what I asked you to do. Don't certify those votes for Joe Biden, and I'll take care of the rest. You know what Mike Pence did? Read it in the indictment. He said, Mr. Former President, unfortunately, I can't do that for you because that would require me to place you above the United States Constitution, a document that our founding fathers, the framers, fought and bled for, a document that even to this day, Americans continue to fight and bleed for. I don't believe it's appropriate for me to ever place a president above the United States Constitution, and I believe anyone asking me to do that is unfit to be president of these United States. This is what Mike Pence told him. So you know Donald Trump, being the fragile individual that he is, you know what he did? He leaned into Mike Pence's. He violated Mike Pence's airspace. His breath smelling like, cheeseburgers and Diet Coke. And he says, you know what your problem is, Pence? Imagine how smelly this was, right? His diaper's smelling, and now you got to smell his breath. You know what your problem is, Pence? You're a little too honest. And he called him the nasty P word. The same P word that we all heard him use on the Access Hollywood tape. This is your Christian leader, though, right? You know what, Pence? I'll take care of this myself. Security! Take me to meet up with my soldiers waiting for me at the ellipse. Sir, those people are armed to the T. They got tactical gear, brass knuckles, stun guns. They even got this thing called demon spray. What's demon spray? Well, if you spray someone with the demon spray, the MAGA demon will take over and they lose all sense of control and they'll just break the law. They got demon spray? Yes. I don't care. They're not bringing it to harm me. Take me to be with my soldiers. This is what Trump did. And so Secret Service, they took him to go meet up with his soldiers. And we all remember what happened next. All right. If you don't remember, let me remind you. Donald Trump got to the ellipse and he saw all of his soldiers. Look at them right there. These are some of the strongest MAGA demons. They're at the Stop the Steal rally. And he says, you know what? Let me go ahead and encourage them to engage in heinous acts of violence.
Now it is up to Congress to confront this egregious assault on our democracy. And after this, we're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down anyone you want, but I think right here we're going to walk down to the Capitol. And we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them. Because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength and you have to be strong.
And that's what was going on in the mind of his supporters, right? This is what his supporters heard before they decided to assault our Capitol, right? And you know what's so funny? They like to say, well, Zeus, you left off the part where he says, go peacefully and patriotically. No, I didn't leave off that part. Because 99.9% of his message was all about violence.
And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. So, let's have trial by combat. We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. You don't concede when there's theft involved. Because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength. So, let's have trial by combat. And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Any questions? Anybody have any questions? I mean, I think it's crystal clear what the orders were, right? Marjorie said, go to the Capitol. Donald Trump is telling you to fight like hell. Rudy Giuliani is saying, let's have trial by combat. As far as I'm concerned, the message was clear, right? So they go to the Capitol, and one of these supporters of his, they were clearly radicalized. They really took everything Donald Trump had said that day. They took it very, very serious. And they were willing to pay the ultimate price for Donald Trump. How many of you remember who Ashley Babbitt is? How many of you remember who Ashley Babbitt was? Ashley Babbitt is one of Donald Trump's foot soldiers, ladies and gentlemen. And she put it all on the line for Donald J. Trump that day. All right, this is Ashley Babbitt. And this is shortly after she had been radicalized. Let's have trial by combat and we fight like hell, right? All right, let's have trial by combat. You'll never give up. She heard it all. On her way to the Capitol, we caught her on audio. Listen to what she was saying on the way to the Capitol.
District, why don't you worry about your own goddamn district and the that's going on there? You are a complete, I'm telling you right now, I'm putting all you on notice. Every single one of you politicians in California, Gavin Newsom, Jerry Brown, Maxine Waters, Duncan Hunter, what the hell is Kamala? Where is Kamala? Talking about ISIS like KKK. We got this migrant care. You know what? We have thousands of people on the other side of the border. If people can't get to work, our economy is going to take an absolute tank because you guys refuse to choose America over your stupid political party. Capital and a mob, there's an estimated over 3 million people here today. So despite what the media tells you, boots on the ground definitely say something different. There is a sea of nothing but red, white, and blue, and hatred to Trump.
You hear that? That's Ashley Babbitt right there on a hot mic, ladies and gentlemen. We caught her, fully radicalized foot soldier for Donald J. Trump, ready to put it all on the line. Because guess what? She believed everything Donald Trump said. I'm pretty sure if you go look at her timeline, all right, on whatever social media platform she was on, 99.9% of it contained information from Donald J. Trump or one of his little MAGA demons that he had working for him. And we all remember what happened to Ashley Babbitt, right? She lost her life in the battlefield. This is what happened. This is right before she lost her life in the battlefield. Listen. That was Ashley Babbitt right before she lost her life because she believed Donald Trump was telling the truth. She lost her life in the battlefield, MAGA, for Donald Trump because of his big lie. She wouldn't have been there if he would have simply conceded to Joe Biden. And you know what Donald Trump did? Ladies and gentlemen, do you know what Donald Trump did after he found out that one of his foot soldiers lost their life in the battlefield? Do you know what Donald Trump did?
Information that stands out to me is that Donald Trump was passed a note after one of the rioters was shot in the Capitol and was made clear that this person had been shot, this woman had been shot in the chest. And the valet says that he offered no reaction upon learning that. He kept sitting in the chair watching the violence unfurl on TV.
A non-reaction at the death of Ashley Babbitt.
You hear that? You hear that? Same script day in and day out. Nothing changes. No, it's not the same script, Christopher. Every day I got a new MAGA demon that I'm bringing to justice. Another liar in my comment section. Chris, what grade did you graduate from? It seems to me like you've been in my show for so long, but you're not paying attention. Chris, listen up. This isn't for you. This is for somebody that's actually trying to learn. So, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump had no reaction to Ashley Babbitt losing her life because of his big lie. This is the crime scene of January 6th that millions of Americans believe happened. This is what we all know happened on January 6th. Every single Trump supporter on this app, the moment you bring up January 6th, they want to run for the hills. They want to argue with you about immigration. They want to cry about the economy. Because they don't want you to know that Donald Trump that day If he could have got away with it, he would have. He would have installed himself as a dictator, and anyone who lost their life in the process was just a casualty of war in his world. Donald Trump is responsible for the attack on the United States Capitol on January 6th, and all of his little soldiers, as far as I'm concerned, they're seditionists, treasonous traitors just like him. This is January 6th, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, I got another update, all right? We got another update about a MAGA demon being brought to justice. A Florida man, nicknamed Sedition Panda, has been convicted of assaulting officers in the January 6th Capitol riot. A Florida man nicknamed Sedition Panda for the panda costume that he wore during the riot on the United States Capitol on January 6th was convicted of multiple charges this past Friday. Jesse James Rumson, 38, of Lecanto, was found guilty on Friday of civil disorder and assaulting, resisting, or impeding certain officers, both felony offenses, following a bench trial in the district court, according to the U.S. Department of Justice. Additionally, Rumson was convicted of 6 misdemeanor charges: entering and remaining in a restricted building or grounds, disorderly and disruptive conduct in a restricted building or grounds, engaging in physical violence in a restricted building or grounds, disorderly conduct in a Capitol building, act of physical violence in a Capitol building, parading, demonstrating, or picketing in a Capitol building. You see what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is not the same script other than the crimes these people are getting convicted with. But these are MAGA demons who are radicalized by Donald Trump's rhetoric, who go out and break the law and end up getting caught. According to authorities, Rumson drove with a friend from his Florida home to Washington, D.C. and attended the Stop the Steal rally wearing a headpiece appearing to belong to a panda costume. After the rally, Rumson reportedly marched with the crowd to the Capitol building, breached the restricted perimeter, and entered the Capitol building wearing a panda headpiece. After an altercation with the police inside the building, Rumson emerged in handcuffs, this time without the panda headpiece, with red eyes and skin from pepper spray. Rumson was arrested in Florida by the FBI on February 27, 2023. During the trial, U.S. District Judge Carl J. Nichols reportedly called Rumson's version of events absurd and patently incompatible with the objective evidence and testimony. Sentencing is scheduled for September 5th, 2024. For the record, nearly 1,400 individuals have been charged for crimes related to the January 6th Capitol riot, and over 1,000 have been convicted or have pled guilty. More than 870 have been sentenced, with over 500 receiving prison terms, according to the data compiled. Ladies and gentlemen, it's with great pleasure that I ask you to join me in doing this. Join me in giving Sedition Panda what he deserves. A round of boos and shame.
Silence! You MAGA demon!
And because he's been prosecuted, he's been convicted, and he's on his way to being sentenced, let's send him off the old-fashioned way.
I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened where they could take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from our country. This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. You've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated that are so bad and so evil. I know how you feel. But go home and go home in peace.
I'd like to begin by addressing the heinous attack on the United States Capitol. Like all Americans, I am outraged by the violence, lawlessness, and mayhem. I immediately deployed the National Guard and federal law enforcement to secure the building and expel the intruders. America is and must always be a nation of law and order. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. To those who engaged in the acts of violence and destruction, you do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay.
You hear that, MAGA? Anybody got any questions about who was responsible for the attack on the United States Capitol on January 6th after hearing that? Did at any point did I say anything about the FBI and ghost buses, Nancy Pelosi, radical Democrats dressing up as Trump supporters? Did any of that come out? Or was it pretty clear that this was something Donald Trump and his supporters put into motion, right? This is why I have to cover January 6th the way that I do, because MAGA will not let that story be told. They will interrupt you if you tell it that way. They will deny. They will pivot. They will do everything everything they can, legally or illegally, to try to get the truth, to try to prevent the truth about what happened on January 6th from getting out. You know, what's so interesting about this, these Trump supporters, they love to say things like the rest of the world is laughing at the United States. I want to clear that up. The rest of the world is not laughing at the United States. The rest of the world is laughing at you, MAGA, you and your cult leader. All right? Because guess what? Quiet as it is kept, you are all in what I call a circus, right? Right, ladies and gentlemen, these Trump supporters, they don't want to admit it, but they're in a circus. Donald Trump is running the Guinness Book of World Records biggest circus. He is the biggest ringleader I've ever seen, and he's definitely winning when it comes to that. You know he's running a circus because he does what a clown does. No, it's not FJB unless you mean for Joe Biden. Donald Trump is doing exactly what a clown does, right? A clown wears makeup. Doesn't Donald Trump do the same thing, right? He puts on that makeup, that orange makeup. Christian Rodriguez, don't I look so good with this orange makeup? And Christian goes ahead and sends him some money. All right? A clown wears a wig. Donald Trump does the same thing. He just puts that wig smack dab right there on his head. Christian, don't I look so good? Christian sends him some more money. Christian's a MAGA demon in my chat, by the way. All right. A clown wears that ridiculous suit with the thing around his waist. Yeah, Donald Trump does the same thing. He puts on that dirty, disgusting diaper. All right. And then he puts on that same crumpled blue suit with the ridiculous red tie and gets onto his social media platform and gives folks their daily orders on what to do. These folks aren't thinking for themselves. They don't even question anything Donald Trump says. They just do it. And he's running a circus because look at what he's selling. He's selling them gold shoes, right? He's selling them fake money, Trump bucks. He's selling them a fake education, Trump University. He got fake charities. I mean, everything about this man says grift, and they buy it. And then they sit back and complain that they don't have any money and the world is laughing. No, the world is not laughing at the rest of the United States. They're laughing at you because you're in Donald Trump's circus. You're walking that tightrope of lies for him, right? You're jumping through all of these hoops, defending things you shouldn't even be defending, MAGA. When are you going to wake up and get out of the cult? Stop drinking that Kool-Aid that Donald Trump serves you on a daily. This is a disgrace to this country. It's an embarrassment. You're not Christians. You're hypocrites. You're not patriots. You're traitors. You don't tell the truth. You lie. Day in and day out, you don't know anything. You don't know anything because there's just no way you could actually You know, these folks have a smartphone, but I don't know if they're using the smartphone correctly. They're just using the phone. They're not using the smart part, right? Is that what's going on? I don't understand how you have access to all this information at your fingertips, and yet you read this data, you look at it, and you go, that's not true. What Donald Trump says is true. Something's really wrong with you folks. And it is really, really time for you to quit it. All right? Donald Trump is currently on the verge of perhaps being convicted. And even to this day, you got folks like Marjorie Trader Green. I will still vote for him even if he is convicted. That basically says I can't even ask you to hold Joe Biden accountable for any crimes anymore because once I start supporting a criminal, all bets are off. You don't even see that, MAGA. You don't even see the fact that you're willing to endorse him as a criminal means you can never say anything credible about Joe Biden being a criminal. You could never, because you've already went lower than low. That's the lowest you can go is to vote for a criminal. And you're already there. What can you say to me to make me feel bad about voting for Joe Biden after that? Seriously. You cannot make anybody feel bad about who they vote for the moment you sit up there and say, I support Donald Trump, a person that's been found liable for SAN, someone that's been impeached twice, indicted 4 times, on his way to getting convicted. There's nothing you could say to make me feel bad about voting for whoever. I mean, pretty much at this point, you might as well just vote for the devil, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes my monologue. Let's open up these boxes and hear from those of you who are brave enough to get in the box and tell the truth. And like I said, we try to do 3 minutes each. And this is all about getting the Americans, the voice of America out here so people can understand, how people in this country are really feeling about things that are going on in terms of politics in our country. All right. So yes, please send Zeus a guest request. I am also willing to hear out any Trump supporters. We are the champions. You're right, attacking. If you got dirt on Joe Biden, ladies and gentlemen, please feel free to send Zeus a guest request because I'm actually willing to change who I support. But you got to bring credible evidence to back up whatever it is that you're talking about. Let's see, who do we got out there? Let's see, Trump 20. No. This is not a MAGA friendly live, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a MAGA friendly live. Okay. I may change my name to Free the T. Absolutely, you can do whatever you want. All right. Let's see. Oh, who do we got? Okay, Bamba. Good morning. Good morning, Bamba. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing good.
All right.
How are you doing?
I am all right. Just another day in the kingdom, tending to the affairs. How about you?
Well, I made a point of watching a World War II movie on Memorial Day,
Oh,
and
okay.
it's a newer release and it's foreign, but it made me step away and think. It was about a town in Belgium where the Hitler guys showed up, right?
Uh-huh.
And how people reacted, and it made me wonder if anybody stops to think, what would they do? You
Mm,
know, right?
right. Yeah.
So would you be an agitator and turn people in, or would you be a person that, well,
You mean you
will you
mean
be part of the resistance?
you mean what would the citizens of Germany do
Well, they
seeing a
were
figure?
German, they were Belgium, but what if the same thing happened here? I mean, you got a guy down here named Rodriguez who's talking all this crap. So would he just go and sign up and be a brown shirt,
I'm pretty
or
sure
would
he
he,
would.
or would he be a collaborator, which is somebody who tells on people, or would he be part of the resistance?
Well, that's a question that only he could answer, right?
Yeah, but
But
I mean,
based on his behavior, I don't think he would be part of the resistance at all.
and here's the thing, that's where we need to be thinking, what would we do?
Mm, yeah,
And that's what we have to be thinking. What would we do?
yeah.
These people, think it's funny and they think it's a joke, but real quick, it's not going to be.
Right.
You
It's
know
not.
how right. So, I don't know what Mega's mindset is. I mean, will they qualify to be a brown shirt? You're going to have to pass a test, right? So
Yeah.
what if you don't qualify? What if you don't meet the points, guys? Then what happens to you? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
So
good question, Bam. But
yeah,
that's a
if you don't, I mean, they've got a test out there. They really have a test. They want you to go to the Heritage Foundation, fill out your information, give them a chance to do a background check on you, and they're going to grade you. Right? They're going to
yeah.
grade you. Somebody's
Yeah.
going to call from the state of, Texas and say, "Hey, I need some guys on the road crew, in maintenance. Who do you got for me?" So if you don't get graded and you
Yeah.
don't sign up, what happens to you?
That's
They
a good
don't know,
question.
do they? They have no clue.
Yeah. Well, the
They
thing is,
think, yeah,
they're willing participants. They don't question anything Donald Trump says, right? And I think that's the bigger problem, right? They
right.
they believe Donald Trump over the actual facts and data that's in their face.
Yeah, just because you support Donald Trump doesn't mean Donald Trump's going to support you. And so does that put you in danger?
In my opinion, in my experience, it absolutely does. Right?
Right.
Listen to these people that are currently sitting in prison. He calls them hostages.
Yeah.
They're living in danger.
Right. So, that's just and that's just the light version, right? So with Rodriguez, I'm just using you, Rodriguez, because you have been just spewing all this crap. But are you certain? Are you 100% certain that your blood, that your history, that your voting, that your contributions are all in line for Trump? Or the Republican Party
Is he still? Is
for
he
the
still
last
here?
20 years. For
Is he
20,
still
I mean,
here?
I don't know. Last time I saw him, he was. I mean, I don't think he'd run because I was talking.
Well,
Um,
they get a little sensitive, Bamba, when
do they?
yeah. When you start putting holding their feet to the fire, they tend to get a little sensitive and scared. But please
Yeah, I
continue
mean,
to help them understand.
yeah, that's just it. If you're a Trump supporter, you better go back and check how you voted. You better go back and check how many um, contributions you've made. Have you made a contribution to a food bank or, to the church, the right church? All that's going to be part of your point system.
Tell them.
Yep. So you be careful, make sure, you're thinking you're coming after Democrats or you're coming after Biden or you're supporting, Trump. Is Trump going to accept you? He's accepting you now
You hear that?
as useful idiots.
They don't
But
mind though. They don't
and guess
mind,
what?
Bamba.
Who do you think is going to take your guns? I'm sorry, your pew pews. It's not going to be the Democrats. Trump, once he gets in, he can't let you have those guns. He can't let you have those for what he has planned.
Wow. Wow.
You watch. He already turns on everybody, right? So you guys think he'd let you keep those? You're nuts.
Yeah. Well, they are nuts, and I completely agree with that.
Yeah, that's so, yeah, look, here he is. Rodriguez just went by.
Oh, what did he say? Let me see what
He said you
Rodriguez.
muted him again for 5 minutes.
No, I didn't. I'm not muting you. My hands are here. All right.
Yeah.
You must be
Yeah.
getting into it with the mods.
Yeah.
But
And then look at do you see his little lion there?
what is it?
On his profile picture, excuse me, but I'm going overtime. I'll be quick. That's the mega lion. He's proving right there that the Republican Party's over. That's what's going to replace the elephant. Right there.
Is that true, Christian? Is that what you're about? You're about taking over. It says the Patriot Party. Oh, okay, yeah, Christian. He must not be talking about being a patriot of the United States, though, Bamba.
Yeah. I don't. Well, okay. Well, Christopher Rodriguez. I hope that you meet muster, because you're going to be one of the first ones they come after.
Yeah.
Yep.
You hear
Yeah.
that, Chris? Mr. Trader, you hear what Bamba is saying to you? All right. Well,
Yeah.
listen, Bamba,
All
thank
right.
you.
Well, thank you. I just wanted to give a perspective. Stop and think. What would you be doing?
Good question. Do you know what you would be doing, Christian? Honestly, seems like you're in here and you're freaking out right now when you really should be focusing on like getting help for yourself. Seriously.
Yeah. And if Trump keeps up with what he's doing, any of your mental health records will be his too. Yeah.
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 Wow.
All right. Well, have a good day. Let's hope justice prevails this week.
I have a high degree of confidence that justice will
I'm
prevail.
prepared to accept whatever happens.
Me too. Me too.
That's even if I might cry, I might have a hissy fit.
Don't do that. Don't do that,
No,
Bamba.
just for in private. Yeah.
Yeah. We're remember the battle. There's battles and then there's the war.
Yep, exactly.
We're
And I'm
concentrating
preparing
on
for
winning
the
this war.
yep, I'm prepared for all of it. So
Amen.
here we go.
All right. Well,
Have a
listen,
great day,
Bam.
Zeus. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give Dark Bamba a round of applause. No lies detected. Yeah. Where did my comment section go? Hold on 1 second. Righty then. Okay. There he is, right there, Christian. Christian, I was trying to send you an invite so you could come up here and explain how you're calling out my hypocrisy, Christian. But get this, Christian, I can't send you an invite, so that tells me that you must have gotten in trouble somewhere on TikTok and your permission to go live has been suspended. Is that what happened, Christian? Ladies and gentlemen, join me in giving Christian what he deserves because he can't go lie. Okay, Christian. Well, today is to the 28th. Maybe later today. All right, but for the sake of this show, Christian, I'm gonna need you to pipe down. All right, and just listen to this broadcast. All right, this special broadcast, which is specially crafted for you, ladies and gentlemen. Join me in giving Lion Christian what he deserves. A round of booze and shame. All right. Good morning, brother attacking. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Just reading what Trump's lawyers saying throughout his closing arguments. But
Oh,
let me say this: Hey, pure blood, change your name because pure blood means that you just want to have relations and children with your bloodline. You don't want to pollute it. That means you're a sick SOB. All right. So why don't you look what the definition of pure blood means and realize that you're being a douche? Yeah,
was
and
that a
by the way, huh?
what was he bragging about that or something? I don't.
Well, no, the name is Pure Blood,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I looked
yeah.
at it,
And we know
and
what
then
that
I
means.
yeah, and then I had to make sure that I was gonna say it correctly. Yeah, it's basically a human or animal who wants to have relations with the same bloodline.
Y'all some sick folks. Y'all some sick
Yeah,
folks. No, no,
yeah,
no, Christian.
exactly.
Mr. Rodriguez, don't fall for the okie doke, all right? They're telling you that's what it means, but you gotta go look this stuff up for yourself.
Yeah. So, and then bouncing around from room to room today, this morning.
Right?
If you Trump lovers are so tough, wanting another war, the Civil War, why are you waiting? Why are you waiting for November?
Mm.
If you're so big and tough, why do you have to wait till November 5th? Oh, I'm
Mm.
sorry, November 7th, because Trump has said vote on November 7th,
Mm.
even though it's on the 5th.
Right.
I shouldn't have divulged that.
Yeah.
So if you want a civil war, grab your pew pews and grab your cojones and walk out the door and start doing it.
I
What are
don't.
you waiting for?
I don't encourage that. By the way, I don't encourage that. No,
No,
I
no, no.
I prefer that you actually just sit your special behinds down and listen to this special broadcast, MAGA, because you don't know anything. To be honest, you don't know anything.
Exactly. But the thing is this: if you guys are going to talk tough and say that, oh, one person I heard, I should have copied his name, his screen name, and made a video of him saying that the attack on January 6th, he says if they should have done it right, there should have been 100,000 people attack it and take over the government. Yeah, they should have brought their pew-pews.
So if they say that, are they basically saying that those were Trump supporters that did it that day, or are they saying the FBI should have did that? Or are they saying Antifa,
Well,
BLM should have did that?
the one guy who said that he had 130 felony charges and he's a felon and he can't vote. I forget the guy's name, but he said that he's been in prison and he can't vote. Blah 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 blah. I'm sorry, but if you have 134 charges, I'm surprised you're even out.
Yeah,
Seriously,
that's actually that's a lot. Trump was trying to get that amount, right? That's more than.
Yeah, he's close. He's close. He's close.
Yeah.
But if your guys are going to act tough and say that January 6th it should have been done right with pews, why don't you do it now?
Right.
Why are you waiting? Are you waiting for your Lord and Savior Donald J. Trump to say thumbs up, start doing it? I mean, are you guys that much of puppets?
Yeah.
Can you not think for yourself? When you go potty, do you have to call up Donald Trump to see if he can wipe your butt? I mean, I'm sorry. It's hard to be clean on Zeus's live when you really want to say some really bad words.
Oh wait! Somebody said put me in the box with this dude attacking. Would you be willing to hear one of these MAGA demons out for a quick second?
I've never ran yet.
All right, now trucking the low country. If you come in the box and you are not actually having a conversation and you're being rude and disrespectful, I'm just gonna maybe give you one or two warnings and then I gotta drop you. All right, so let's see if you can have this, because I'm not really into all of that early morning babysitting. If you're an adult, you should be able to behave like one. Now come on up here. You demanded to talk to attacking. Come on up here and say what you need. Oh, he says then he can't do it. Oh no, come on up here. Come up here. Don't make excuses. Come on up here. I'm pretty sure you can. Come on up here.
Come on.
Stop hiding.
I mean, you're the one who said it. So
you wanted to put some meat on the bone, trucking the low country. Come on up here. What's taking you so long? Is your internet not working? He has over 1,000 followers, and he demanded it.
Yeah. And by the way, I put my zombie face on so I could eat your brains, but it's just going to be an appetizer because there's really not a lot there.
Yeah. So you know what? I guess he's scared attacking. I mean,
all right.
He literally. But if he does get the courage, I will invite you back up here. All right, seriously.
Yeah, I'm listening to you and watching the news at the same time. But like I said, Trump lovers. Grab your pews, grab your cojones, and start acting up now. Don't wait for November 5th. You don't need the permission slip if you're that tough. All right, thanks everybody. Be safe. I'll be listening.
All righty then. All right, ladies and gentlemen, join me in giving brother attacking a round of applause. No lies detected.
Kick me down. For some reason, I can't do it.
Okay. Yeah. See, this is what I'm saying. If you want to come up here and provide proof of whatever it is that you're talking about, then send Zeus a guest request. You ready to finish that debate we started? Conservative Democrat. I've already finished the debate. There's really nothing else to debate with you and your brother Retribution. All right. I've already debunked every single one of your conspiracies. All right. Yeah, Valerie. He has over 1,000 followers. Let's see if we can get this MAGA demon to come up here once again. I mean, it's a sad day in America. It's a sad day in America when they can't come into the live and defend their position. They just talk. They just talk as if none of us are capable of actually dealing with what they're saying. April, good morning, April.
Good morning, Zeus. I got an answer for attacking, even though I'm not a Trump supporter.
Fair enough.
I've got an answer why they're not doing it now, attacking. That's because we have Biden as president, and he won't sit on his behind. He will not sit on his behind and let violence and unlawfulness happen. That's why. Because their hind ends would be thrown in jail just as fast as you could say whoops.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So that's your answer, attacking their babies. But if Trump was in there, he'd sit there and watch it on TV and
Yeah.
say, "Go, y'all, go."
Isn't that something? They have no problem
Disgusting.
They have no problem breaking the law for Donald Trump. Isn't that something? But they won't do it on their own.
No, not at all. And let's talk to MAGA. How does it feel to know that you got taken by car salesman? How does it feel knowing that you were scammed? How does it feel knowing he told us in 2015, hey, I could unalive someone at the middle of Fifth Avenue and not lose one supporter? Why do you think he felt that way? He knew he had you sold. He was the car salesman. He sold you that old rusty bucket, and you fell for it. You fell for it. It was full of crap too, and had
Yeah.
flies in it and maggots. And they bought the damn car.
You have
I'm sorry.
no,
They
no.
bought the car.
Yeah. Yeah. No lies detected. She's telling the truth. And do you
It's
think even to
crazy.
the do you think even to this day they realize they got a bad deal?
Oh no, they're blind. They are holy crap. They're driving around that rusty old bucket. We need that sound you used to use. For the Trump supporter going off the blah, 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 blah. They're going around
Oh,
driving that thing.
wait a minute. Let's see if we got that. All right. This one?
That's
Sounds good to me. Turn it off, MAGA. Yeah.
they driving it. They don't care what shape it's in. They have blind faith because they were conned. Zeus, what is it like to be? I have no idea what it's like to be conned.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, if you've ever had someone pull the wool over your eyes and then take the money, it's an embarrassing experience. You don't want to share that with other people, I would imagine, right? Because it's embarrassing that you would have to basically say, I wasn't intelligent enough to realize I was a part of a scheme. And no one wants to admit that, right?
And oh no. They don't want to admit that they don't know anything. They believe everything. We hear it from them continuously, repeating all the lies without backtracking and seeing if Trump even knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They say,
Yeah.
all these three-letter agencies are corrupt. And the only reason they're saying they're corrupt, they never said it before till Donald Trump said it.
Right.
Did they call it the fake news media before Trump? No.
Nope. No.
It's crazy. You have been conned. He let you know that he had you in his little pocket when he said he could unalive someone
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
He knew it.
Yeah.
He knew he could say whatever and you would believe everything he said.
Exactly.
I'm sorry for you. And when you see the light, I hope it's not too late, because like Zeus said, it's either hell or jail.
Amen.
So,
Amen.
good gosh.
That ultimate MAGA reward is something else, right, April? And they're on their
It's-
way to getting it. They really are.
I mean, you got to look at it. It's all the convictions, the people that surrounds Trump.
Yeah.
It's either jail or they went to hell. Poor Herman Cain. He listened to Trump. Look what happened to Herman Cain. Now, do we think he went to the upper place or the downer place?
Down, down, down. Because he saw the truth and went the other direction for Donald Trump. And this is why we do what we do day in and day out. And we help these Trump. There are some people who are actually benefiting from you and I and folks like us having these conversations on the regular, right? Exposing the lies. But then there's those who double down on it and are on their way straight to hell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And y'all just try it again. Try it again
Tell 'em,
while
April.
Biden's in office. I want you to try it. Please, I'm begging you all. to please try what you did on January the 5th with a real president, a real man, a real president that's for the people, not somebody that's just sitting there watching it on TV, eating his darn McDonald's, slinging ketchup on the walls.
Yep.
It's crazy. So
Tell him, April.
I don't understand how people can be fooled so easily. It's either they're missing something, Zeus, in their head. I don't understand
They're not firing on all 4 cylinders or all 6 hours.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
It's that old junky car. Blah, 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 blah. They driving around.
Backfiring. Yep, backfiring like you know what. Thank you, Rick. All right. Well, listen, April, I appreciate you coming up here. All right. We're doing so good, and I'm looking forward to watching this verdict get played out in the hush money trial. Do you think he's gonna get convicted? What do you think, April?
Well, if they go by the law, which we knew, even like I played Giuliani,
Yeah.
that how the scheme was laid out.
Yeah.
Even Trump's lawyer Giuliani called it, and why didn't they bring that up? I have no idea. But if the actual evidence is used and not biased feelings, and those diehard clunker drivers will still could go in there, and it doesn't matter what's being said, what truth has been shown, they're going to support this man. So it's like 50-50 hung jury.
Fair enough.
That's the way I feel.
Fair enough.
Have a great day, dear, and I hope to see you soon.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give the beautiful April a round of applause. No lies detected. By the way, are there any Trump supporters out there that have that dirt on Joe Biden? Because there's been rumor out there that Joe Biden is somehow part of doing crimes, and I'm still waiting. I've been waiting for at least 2 months right now for Trump supporters to bring evidence that Joe Biden is a criminal, and not one time have I ever gotten the evidence. This is the most bizarre thing yet. They have no problem, not in this live, but if you go and you visit their lives, they have no problem saying that President Biden is a criminal, all right? But when you ask them to provide the evidence, they can never produce it. So another day, ladies and gentlemen, with no evidence of Joe Biden being a criminal from MAGA. There's no evidence, right, Steve? Yeah, I agree. Good morning, Stick the Ruler. How you doing, brother?
Hey, good morning, Zeus. How you doing?
I'm all right. Just another day in the kingdom, tending to the affairs as usual. You?
Well, I love coming into your lives. I love listening to how you explain the MAGA every day in and day out about how Donald Trump is basically the man who caused January 6th, the man who's trying to take away democracy, and how mad they are, MAGA against democracy.
Right.
So I just want to say that MAGA, you need to get it together. Every day you're losing votes for your leader.
Yeah.
The one who tells everybody if we don't like it here, we can leave. Well, right now, MAGA, that sounds like you.
Yeah.
So I would advise you take Nutty Professor's gift that he's trying to give to you MAGites, which is the trip to Russia. Because at this point, that's the only country and or nation that would allow you in and wants you.
You think they should go to Russia?
Yeah, I think they should become Russian bears. No problem. I mean, they're already acting like Russian bears here, so why not get into their normal habitat? That would be their normal habitat.
True. Yeah.
Let's take it back to 5th grade, maybe even 4th. Somewhere. And I would like to ask the question, and I would love for the guests and or the people in the comments to ask and or give me an answer.
Right.
At this point, how many people in here think that Donald Trump and the MAGites are deplorables like Miss Clinton said?
Oh, you
put
mean,
a 1 in the comment. Yeah. Put a 1 in the comment if you think those people are deplorables. Put a 2 if you think that they're patriots. 2
Fair
for
enough.
patriots, 1 for deplorables.
Let's see what
Let's
see what the results are. Yeah. Look at all these. Look at all these ones, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Look at all these ones.
And that's how a poll goes. You see
Yeah.
how the polls are doing what they do. So if you're Donald Trump and you pay for polls along with other P words
Thank
that you
you.
pay
Wow,
for,
almost 100. Listen, a good chunk of the audience that participated believe. Look at that, 80. Oh my good, a good chunk of them believe Donald Trump is a deplorable, like Hillary Clinton says. Wow, look at that. We're almost at 100. Wow, wow, wow. You see this, MAGA?
you see how
have
polls
zero
work.
credibility. Over 100. Wow.
Yeah, you see how polls work. And that was just on the fly. You see, those were just the people that were in here. Some of these, exactly. Some of these people are in the middle of the road. They don't know who they're voting for. Some of these people are hardcore Democrats and lean definitely left. But at the end of the day, that's how a poll works. When you when you ask the people that's on your roll and your roll only who they're going to vote for, of course they're going to come out with Donald Trump. But at the end of the day, why are those same people that you have on your roll is it so low? Because they're only people that you know in the sense of Republican Party, conservative, and or MAGA.
Yeah.
So why is the poll so even when you're only doing the people that you know? You see how polls work, MAGA? But in
no
here,
lies detected.
Every poll that we take, because the people we know, it's really, really high for the Democrats.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird, Zeus?
Yeah. I mean, even on TikTok, wouldn't you say Democrat lives are a lot larger for the most part?
Yeah, I would say on TikTok definitely, but I mean, it's got to be an old conservative.
No.
Yeah, it's got to be an old conservative with a rotary phone or a regular phone, that gets the poll at home.
Jesus Christ.
But I'm still saying normally they would vote Republican. Normally they would vote MAGA. But in those polls, he only has a slight lead or isn't leading at all.
Yeah.
So pay attention, MAGA. These pollsters are your people, and they're telling you half of them are gonna vote for Joe Biden, half of them are gonna vote for Donald Trump.
Right.
In your poll, your poll, versus our poll, everybody's voting for Joe Biden. Everybody thinks Joe Biden's a stand-up guy.
Right.
So I just wanted to point that out, Zeus, to let everybody know that those polls don't mean diddly, and it's a great day in the neighborhood and in the kingdom. And everybody have a good day.
All right. You too, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it up for Stick the Ruler. No lies detected. Polls don't vote, people do. All right. And see, this is another truth teller, ladies and gentlemen. All right. And see, people get it confused about why I do this show. Okay, hold on. Oh, look at that. We're all out of gas. All right. See, people get it confused about why I do this show. And so what I like to do is help people understand. The reason we have to do shows like this is to help drive home the point, which is Donald Trump is the most dangerous threat to our democracy, if you know what I mean. And his supporters, oh yes, shout out to the Zeus minions, right? Yes. Well, in about maybe 5 minutes or so, yes, we will do the minions, all right? Because listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, check out Jess. It's me, Jessica, in the audience. She is helping us, I would call it, get back at these Trump supporters who come into the show and accuse all of you because you sit here and you listen to the show, you follow the format, and you bring facts. Then they start referring to you as Zeus's minions, all right? And so what they've done is quite spectacular. Her and Shay. We've decided, yes, let's go ahead and use the Zeus's minions to send a message to MAGA, all right? And it's a powerful message. Number one, it means we don't believe you. You're all a bunch of liars and traitors. That's what it means. Number two, it also means, you know what? If this is what it takes to win in November, we're willing to do it, right? So, Jess, yes, we will be taking a picture towards the end of the show. And look, you can see a lot of them out there in the audience. They got their avatar as the Zeus minion, and it's quite incredible. She does it, and for a fee of $25. So please support Jess. All right. I know I am. Laser focus. You cannot speak for me, so I ask that you just, be quiet and listen to this special broadcast. Nothing grinds my gears more than folks out here trying to speak on my behalf. As you can see, I'm pretty clever. I know how to speak for myself. I don't need you to do that, all right? You just sit your special behind down and you listen to this special broadcast for once in your life, all right? Now, one of the things that I wanted to do is once again, listen, we have another panelist that wants to come up. Okay, come on, Wanda. How are you doing this morning? I thought we had already took care of business this morning. Good morning, Shelly. How you doing, Wanda?
Hi. Good. Uh-oh.
I can hear you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Zeus. Good
Good
morning,
morning.
Kingdom. Hi. Thank you for letting me up. I've been in and out. I had surgery, so I
Oh,
kind of been in and out in
are you okay?
recuperate. Yeah, I'm feeling much better. I'm on leave, but
Okay.
I've been in and out and haven't been in as much as I want to. But
Okay, I
I
get you.
want to say to you guys, I saw for the first
Okay,
time,
Shay.
if you notice, the real reaction when Trump tried to sit in front of those liberals,
Mm.
and we got the true reaction
The
of the people.
libertarians?
Yes, the
Okay, okay.
libertarian. Yes,
Yeah,
thank you. And
gotcha.
we got the true reaction when Trump supporters tried to flood that venue and get in, and
Mm.
they wasn't having it. And they booed him and booed him. I'm like, now that's a reaction
Yeah.
of the people.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the reaction of, and he didn't know how to handle it.
He couldn't handle it. He
He
literally was collapsing on himself right there in front of us. Yeah, he thought he
he
was going. He did all of that for 6 votes. Right? How embarrassing.
how embarrassing. And I'm just like, you know what? I am just so filled with love and joy for you guys. You straight facts. And Jessica, baby, I'ma support you. You got
Yes.
my I got you. All of you guys
Yeah.
attacking everybody, you guys pushing the word, and I have more time now to do my
Thank you,
research.
Jess.
I
Yes.
do more time to do my
Yeah.
research because
Thank you.
I'm just not just listening and I'm absorbing. I will be 48 years old.
Oh
And
wow.
I will be 48 years old in August.
Wow.
And I did not really, I always voted Democrat,
Right.
always, but I never did the research until I came on TikTok.
Right.
I commend you guys because you guys have opened up so many eyes, just like mine.
Yeah.
My kids, my daughter, you guys just don't know. You guys have been overheard
Thank
in
you.
meetings,
Really.
in schools. And my
That's
daughter's, you guys are, you just don't know, but you guys are getting the message out. And it's for people like us that come in to tell you guys, it's just not on TikTok that you guys' messages is being heard. You guys changed my cousin who wrote a
wow.
Republican book that he's a
Really.
straight Republican.
I remember. I believe I remember. Yeah,
Yes.
I met him. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
you guys have turned him. Now he's speaking against the Republicans.
Mm.
So you guys
Good.
have opened so many eyes. You guys, and I just wanted to come up here to
Thank you,
say
Wanda.
thank you guys. Thank you so much. Everybody who know I be in their lives. I might not say much, I might not come up, but I love you guys. I
Thank
love
you.
you and I
And,
appreciate you guys so very much.
wow.
So much.
Wow,
And that's
Wanda.
thank
You ma-
you.
you're really, you're making me get all sentimental on TikTok. You're trying to tug at Zeus's soft side, and you're doing quite the job. All right, thank you, Wanda. All right,
You
we
are
love you
so
too. We
and one other thing I want to
quiet,
say,
Your Majesty, quiet.
so proud of you. I saw you
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
twice on MS. I'm like, oh, that's Zeus.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah, they see that we're out here cooking. We're doing the work, all right, to get the message out there, and there's nothing they can really say about it other than, what, good job, keep on going, Zeus, right? Not just me, but other people out here who are doing the exact same thing.
Man, you guys are in their face. And the thing is, if you try to go in live, it's really nothing they have to say. I am so over the same talking points. I'm so over the gas, the eggs. Like, literally, please, somebody call Walmart. Please, Biden, go and tell Walmart to lower these eggs. Please. Go tell.
They're gonna cry and complain about something else next. Like for instance, they act like they are literally in the Great Depression. You know, these folks during the Great Depression, they really suffered. These folks out here, they still going on vacation, right? They still going to these stores and shopping, filling up their carts. I mean, and you sit back and go, okay, so if it's really that bad as you're saying it is, how do you explain you're buying new cars, buying new houses, right?
Yeah,
Sending
I just
Donald
bought a
Trump
new
money. It
truck.
makes no sense.
Yeah, I just bought a new truck. So I thank you. But the other thing is, I want to say,
Nina.
Zoo, back in the day when I first started driving, if
Mm-hmm.
y'all want to talk about gas prices and you want them to go back to please take them back to when it was 75 cents. I would appreciate that. Now, you talking $2 or whatever. I remember when it was 75 cents
Yeah.
gas prices was. So if y'all can take it back there,
Yeah.
I really, really, really appreciate it.
Tell them.
I really.
Tell them.
So thank you so much,
You're
Zeus, for
welcome.
bringing me up. I
You're
love you
welcome.
guys. I love you, family, in the comments. I really, really appreciate you guys. And you guys have a great day.
All right, all right. You too, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it up to the beautiful Wanda. No lies detected.
Hi.
All right,
Zeus, you know you gotta drop me. I don't know how to get down.
all right. I got you. I got you. All right, I got you. All right, man. Listen. Hold on, hold on. Who was that said something to me? Hold on, hold on. All right, hold on. I saw that comment. I said, you know what? Leah Treadway. Let's see. Leah, won't you come up here and can you want to put some meat on that bone? I'm a little concerned about the message that you put in my chat, Leah. Is there something you wanted to say about the remarks that were being made in terms of you said people aren't buying new things? Is that what you're saying, Leah? I wanted to pick your brain about it because for one, maybe not everybody is buying new things, but somebody's buying them, right, Leah? Somebody's buying this stuff. You can go look at these car lots. You see these car lots, they're still here. They're still selling cars. You see people still buying houses. I've looked around in my neighborhood, for sale signs going up. People are coming in buying them. So I go to the grocery stores. I still see eggs being sold. I go to the gas station. I still see lines of people putting gas in their vehicles. I still see people charging their electric vehicles. I mean, Leah, I'm a little concerned when you say, I see parents sending their children to college still. As far as I'm concerned, people are still doing a lot of things that people with no money usually can't do, if that makes any sense, Leah. I know it might be costing you a little bit more sometimes, and then other times it doesn't. But that's just part of living, Leah. And like Wanda said, right? She just bought a new car. If you want to really give me a deal on gas, let's go live Friday if you're not scared. Conservative Democrat, haven't we already had a conversation? I'm a little concerned. What is it you want to talk to Zeus about, conservative Democrat? Jesus Christ. Come on up here real quick before I wrap this thing up and explain to me why you want to talk to Zeus. I'm a little confused, conservative Democrat. What is the issue this time? Is it me you want to talk to, or is there somebody in the audience you want to have a conversation with?
Oh, I wanted to talk to you, Zeus, but my live got cut short because I'm not allowed to describe the color of my skin.
Right, you can't be racist on TikTok.
It's not a race. That's not being racist.
It's not for you to decide, right? TikTok has their own rules. Listen, if TikTok comes up with the rules of engagement and you break those rules, that's your problem, not TikTok's problem, correct? You just can't make your own rules on TikTok, is my point.
It's bias, isn't it? Everybody else has the ability to do it, but not YT people.
So you're saying TikTok made the wrong call as it relates to how you get on this platform and do what you do? So your problem is with TikTok then, because I don't run TikTok.
Well, I mean, you manipulate the rules in your favor. Dodge that debate.
So what is it you want to talk to me about on Friday? Because here's the thing:
you pick the subject.
If you can't even obey the rules TikTok creates, I'm like, To
No,
me,
I
it's
got it,
like a
champ.
waste
You
of
don't have to worry about that. Choose the debate. Choose the subject.
what. What subject you picked it last time? You tried race and that didn't go so well.
Yeah, because I'm not allowed to describe the color of my skin.
No, no, that's not what
You
happened.
are, but I'm not.
That's not what happened. You want to
That's
talk
what happened.
January? You want to talk January 6th, perhaps?
Sure.
Because here's the thing, conservative. I have three things that I said that I could say if we can agree on, I will change the format of this broadcast. One, you're going to have to agree the 2020 election wasn't rigged. Do you agree that it wasn't rigged?
I plead the fifth.
Second, what about January 6th? Do you believe Donald Trump is responsible for the attack on the Capitol? After you've listened to my show for quite a bit, you should already know the answer. Do you believe he's
You
responsible?
know my answer, Bruce. I
What
think
is
those. I think those law enforcement officers that shot those rubber bullets and threw those concussion grenades were just as responsible as he was.
And okay, what about Joe Biden? Do you believe he's a criminal? Do you believe that he's committed crimes?
Sure.
See, so what is there to really talk about?
Well, then let's talk about it Friday.
Huh?
Yeah, I want you to be prepared this time, Bruce. Let's talk about it Friday.
Okay, well listen, I'll give it some thought, but I'll tell you this much. The fact that we can't even agree on those three things, it's causing me a lot of concern about trying to agree with you on other areas. Because you know where I stand on those things, right?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Well, listen. I gotta move it on, but I'll consider your offer. How about that? But you gotta be agreeable.
I always am.
No, 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 no. Facts are facts. All right.
Yeah, I always bring common sense.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in giving conservative Democrat what he deserves. Another round of booze and shame. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, Shay, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Just waiting. My husband just got taken back to surgery, so
Okay, how's he
just
doing? He's doing
waiting
okay.
that out. He'll
All
be
right.
okay.
Fair enough.
Just have to take care of him. He'll be okay though.
All right.
Um, yeah. Wow. Conservative Democrat. He reminds me of just this little lost puppy. Um, I don't. I think he's just very lost. You know, my honest truth. I think so many particular whitey men are lost, and he doesn't quite know what to do. And I find it weird that he considers himself a Democrat yet supports Trump. It doesn't go hand in hand. It doesn't make any sense. So I'll just never understand it. And that's why it's hard for us to ever believe that he could have voted for someone like Barack Obama and then support Trump. And like, it
What?
just doesn't. It does. They're completely polar opposite men on anything they stand
They've
for, their
somehow painted
backgrounds,
they've
everything.
they've somehow painted themselves to be victims of racism. Isn't that an interesting thing, right?
Yeah, it's really
All
interesting.
the legacy of slavery and the impact of it is still playing out to this day, but somewhere along the line they found some sort of angle where they now can try to portray themselves as the true victims.
hmm
It's
Yeah,
kind of
it's
sad.
weird. And we can
Yeah.
say white to you or white on this thing anytime we want to. So that's not why you got bananaed or in trouble. But I
Right.
found it funny that he thinks that you're the one that set the guidelines for TikTok. My goodness, you people think Zeus is really powerful. It's really interesting.
They do. They do. And
It's all
shout
those
out.
lightning bolts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. This is. I mean, they literally instead of conceding and admitting that they're losing, right? They go and throw out all of these other conspiracies, and it's kind of pointless to actually debate them and argue about it because you could keep debunking them, but they're going to keep coming up with new ones.
Oh, absolutely. Somebody said Trump's not guilty. Yay.
So,
You haven't even sent it to the jury yet.
so if you can say why do you say YT? Oh my God, Your Majesty. Your Majesty, because it's all about context. How about that? I don't know if a lot of
Mhm.
you Trump supporters understand, but the angle and the context when you start spewing out your rhetoric tends to assign the fact that you're being racist. All right, that's just how this works. Maybe you don't, and I refuse to believe you don't know you're being racist because, like I said, you all got smartphones.
Yeah, I'm not sure you can get bananaed for saying the actual color or not. And so they made it this way in order to not, because if you talk about YT supremacy, how are they going to flag that because of that? So it's the racist YT supremacists that have created this issue on TikTok.
Bingo.
And that might be the flagging.
Tell them, Shay.
So that's why we do that. So just so you understand that. I mean, why are you mad at us? It's not us that did it. It's the YT supremacists that have caused this issue on TikTok.
Tell them.
So, sorry. So we have to say YT. We have to say unalived. And it's funny. I've actually used the word unalive in a conversation about. I was starting to laugh so hard. Somebody looked at me like, "What?" I'm like, "I'm sorry. It's TikTok language."
Out in the real world, yeah. Sometimes I do that too, right?
Right. And I'm using TikTok safe language in my vocabulary. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. It's crazy. So yeah. So the defense is rested, and now the prosecution is doing their closing arguments.
Wow.
And Robert De Niro and Fanone and what's the other guy's name? The big black guy that was one of the January one of the Capitol Police guards.
Yeah.
Hank. What's his name?
I know his face, right?
Yes, I know his face. He's so awesome to see if the chat remembers him. But anyway, they stood out and did a conference right outside of the courthouse.
Wow.
And talked about Donald Trump as a threat to democracy.
Wow. Well, you know what? That's a good thing.
Good for them.
That's a good thing.
Yep.
They're doing
Dunn, that's it.
Harry
Dunn. Harry Dunn. Thank you. I knew one of you come through for me. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Tell them.
All right. I'll let you go, my friend. And so.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Love you guys.
All right. Let's give the beautiful Shay a round of applause. No lies.
Take care, everyone.
You too. Harry Dunn, Michael Fanone. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Well, listen, we're about to do the minions. You might want to stay up here, Shay. Oops. All right. Jess, are you there? Jess, Ange, are you there? We got to do. Sorry, I got to run, ladies and gentlemen. All right. But they want to do the minions photo op once again. All right. You know how we do in the kingdom, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do it. All right. Yes, Jess, I heard you got a lot of good business. All right. So let's keep up the work. Good work. All right. There you is. There you go. Good morning, Nana. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
All right.
I'm just waiting for the rest of those minions to get up here.
Hey, Zeus. Let me add my minion. Hold on.
All righty then. All right. Who else do we got today, ladies and gentlemen? If you got one of those Zeus minion pictures, you know what we need to do. Number one, let's help support Jess. Rio. Oh, let's see if we can get a full box today, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God, this makes my heart smile so much. You guys are amazing.
Mine's is big. I'm sorry. I gotta
hold on,
resize it.
Morningstar is so cute.
Man. Oh wow, Morningstar, that is amazing.
That is. I love it.
There you go. Wow.
Good job, Jess.
These are the Zeus minions, ladies and gentlemen. Jess.
I need to make mine smaller.
All right, yes, Ange, you got yours is on steroids, Ange. All righty then. You got yours?
Right, I just sent it to you, Morningstar. I fixed it real quick.
Okay, thank you, Jess.
Your Majesty
Hey, Shay,
says...
you know it's too early.
No, Your Majesty, it's because of me.
It's too early for you, Ray. What's up, sweetheart?
Who else do we have?
I love mine.
Oh my God.
I think I look great.
Let's see it, Ray. Let's see it.
Well, let's get another one.
We need one more minion to fill the boxes, all right? Is there one more minion out there? And Jess, great job, Jess. I don't know how you've done it, all right? But you wanna help explain how they can go about getting their minion, Jess?
Yeah, so you can DM me, follow me, DM me, and we can come up with a theme, and we can work it out. It's $25, Or, I mean, I can work with you on the price too if you can't afford that, because anything really helps me keep creating these awesome pictures for everybody.
Wow, Morning Star. Wow, thank you, Jess. All right, DM Jess if you are interested. All right, we are supporting women in business.
Okay, thank you, Jess.
We're supporting women in business over here. All right, and when you got talent like this, it's a no brainer. All right, and so with that being said, well, let's get this photo taken. All right, Ray, you don't have your minion photo yet.
Not yet, but I'm going to go get me
Oh,
one now that I know
oh,
how to go do it.
okay,
I
okay,
can't
okay.
wait. I just love that little Jessica.
Well, I guess you're gonna have to take the photo with us. All right, once
Guess
again.
so.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Shay
All right,
keeps
get
getting covered up by
yeah.
that gifts.
Shay does get
I
covered,
know.
but yeah.
That's
All right.
okay. Hey, wait, hold on. Hey, let me hop down. I want to hop down so one of the other minions can get back up, okay?
All
Thank
righty
Okay,
you.
then.
Ray. Thank
Hey, Ray
you.
Ray,
Thank
we
I
you,
have
Ray
to
got you
Ray.
get
already,
together
Ray
and make
Ray.
one.
All right, all right, all
Nathan's
right.
mom, that's so cute. Oh my gosh.
Well, there's no
I
other
love
minion
her
though.
maker.
There's no other
What?
minion. All right, we should have
There is
left.
what kind of. Come on, guys.
All right, Nathan's mom can't talk. All right, well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and do the picture. All right, three, two, one. Nice. Another one for the history books. Your Majesty, you can't get one. You'd have to pay
Morning
$100.
Star.
I know, right? Isn't she a
Right.
diva?
I love
These
you
are
guys
so
so much.
cute.
All right, reach
Okay,
out to
With the
well,
Jess.
I
funky
have to
hair,
get
I
to
love
work. I
it.
have to go
Thank
to my
you,
liberal job.
Jess.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Jess.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Jess.
Jess.
Thank you,
All right.
Zeus.
All right,
Thank you,
everyone. Well,
Zeus.
listen. Ladies and
Love you,
gentlemen, we are
Kingdom.
officially landing the plane. It's been a great show, but Zeus must go. Thank you, Shay. Thank you, Nathan's mom.
Thank you, Zeus. Bye, everyone.
All right. It's been a great show. All right, but we must go. All right, but before we get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen, you know there's one more thing I must remind you all of. The reasons that Donald Trump will not get re-elected. All right. So the first reason, all right, and you know it, is because he raped E. Jean Carroll. American people know that a man that would do that is unfit to be president of the United States of America. And actually, he defamed her too. And he's probably going to go to court again for defaming E. Jean Carroll. The next reason, ladies and gentlemen, is because he oversaw the largest fraudulent crime ring in American history. You all saw it. He ran a criminal fraud enterprise which has now resulted in him being fined $500 million. Is it good if we run this country like Donald Trump runs his businesses? Absolutely not. All right. What's the next reason? Well, because he stole classified documents. He stole America's top secrets and he lied to the FBI about that. Surely, any individual who would do such a thing is unfit for office. The next thing Donald Trump did is we all saw it. He tried to overturn the results of an election, a free and fair election, which shows us that Donald Trump once again has no respect for the rule of law. The next is that him and his family have been caught taking money from foreign governments. There's a report that came out earlier this year that showed all the countries Donald Trump took money from, including China, Saudi Arabia, and many others. All right. This man does not respect the Constitution. As a matter of fact, you need to look at Jared Kushner and that $2 billion he got. These folks have been grifting the government for years, ladies and gentlemen, and they don't care about folks like you and I. The next reason is because he overturned Roe versus Wade, which is causing millions and millions of women in this country to suffer to this day. They're not getting access to the reproductive care that they need. All right. This is some sick stuff that this man has done. And then the last thing, ladies and gentlemen, which I believe is going to be the nail in the coffin, the proverbial nail in the coffin for why Donald Trump will not be president, is what's going on right now in this courtroom in New York. The election interference that Donald Trump engaged in that involved him falsifying business records is something we Americans cannot allow to ever happen again. All right. And I believe the jury is going to make the right call once this is all said and done. So for those reasons, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump will not be reelected. All right. Now, I want to give a round of applause to all of you who've sat through this show. You've done an excellent and outstanding job. Really. And I want to give a round of applause to all the panelists, the subscribers, the gifters, and the moderators who've done an excellent job helping to keep this show exciting, engaging, and entertaining. But you know what? We got to give one more round of, you guessed it, booze and shame. Let's give one more round of booze and shame for all the Zeus haters out there. These are our critics. These are our detractors. These are people who day in and day out get on TikTok and spread misinformation and disinformation unknowingly or knowingly on behalf of Vladimir Putin and the Kremlin. They promote evil. They promote hatred. They promote bigotry, racism, misogyny. They're not Christians. They are hypocrites. All right? They're not patriots. They are traitors. And they do all of this on behalf of their leader, their cult leader, Donald J. Trump. These folks are the worst of the worst. They are the lowest. I got to keep it clean. Thank you, Dark, for the subscription. Join me in giving them our final round of, you guessed it, booze and shame. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you tomorrow. Same Zeus time, same Zeus channel. All right, I got to get caught up on some things, but obviously the most important thing for me is to watch what happens during these closing arguments. All right, and MAGA, get ready. All right, MAGA, get ready because the end is here. And by the end of this year, you're going to be crying. All right, probably by the end of this week too. All right.
True felons, most handsome in the kingdom.
Let's go, Mrs. Mom.
This is how I move when I'm walking like Zeus.
Thank you, Jackie.
This is how I stare when I'm looking like Zeus.
I like to act a fool when I'm moving like Zeus. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. TJ Mars, Brown Eyes, I see you. Mystica. Shout out to all the Zeus minions out there, all right? I know you all couldn't make it this morning, but you know, for the ones who came, thank you. Cold as a day. Name one thing Trump has been found guilty of in the court of law. We're about to see that, Your Majesty. I guarantee you, you won't be saying that next week. All right, Jackie. Thank you, Jackie. Let's go. Have a great day, Slick as Rick. I see you, Rick B. Grant B. Oh, Neil, Brown Eyes. Hey, thank you for all you do. Big love to you too. Boy, you're such a. I tried to be patient, but you had to light my fuse. I'm catching all these snakes like a hey. These ladies love me, yeah. I'm the one that they choose. You know I'm so handsome. That's why they call me. Hey. This is how I move when I'm walking like Zeus. Wow. This is how I stare when I'm looking like Zeus. Yes, great show. Don't be playing with my move. Darby, ladies and gentlemen. All right. All right. Love me some Excel. I love you too. All right. Keep it going, Queen Sleeve. Rio. DJ Kitty Cat. You say you wanted facts, well, I'm living proof. PA. Brother Swervin. Holla at the from Zeus, Green Eyes Blonde, 1981. That's an interesting name. Cool. Lady Reba, let's go, let's go. Thank you. It's OC. Have a great one. TJ, anyone who supported the fundraiser for Kendra Friday. All right, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to TJ. Let's get that support. Linda. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that.
Like a mongoose.
These ladies love me, yeah, I'm the one that they choose. You know I'm so handsome, that's why they call me Big Shadow Kitty. Let's go. You cannot speak for Yazzie, Your Majesty. You can't speak for her. What's up, Kevin? Nice to see you. All right. Here we go, Jeffrey.
I just want to buy 11,000.
No, you can't.
780
Hold the days.
votes. This is one more than we have.
Let's go. Hit the milestone. Let's go. Reggie, let's hit him with the Jack Smith remix. No, you can't, Your Majesty. You can't. You can't even speak for yourself, to be quite honest. He's the range.
Jack Smith.
He's deranged.
Jack Smith.
He's deranged.
Yeah, you heard Jack Smith.
He's deranged.
Get him, man.
Jack Smith.
He's deranged.
Jack Smith.
He's deranged.
Yeah, man.
Jack Smith. Work bros, I see you.
Jack Smith.
Donald Trump is indicted and they take
One charge and they turn it into 36 charges.
and he's a big Trump hater. Openly, he's a Trump hater. And his wife is even more of a Trump hater.
Right. All right, let's get on out of here, ladies and gentlemen. And you know exactly what we're going to do. All right, let's see.
They started just recently with this crap. They started just recently. They could have brought this lawsuit, Brenner, 3 years ago, right after I left. It's been 3 years.
Right?
But they didn't do that. And now they're saying, we have to go immediately before the Supreme Court. This thing would have all been over with 2 years ago.
Right?
But they waited and waited and waited, and then they saw I was running, and they waited, and then they saw I was hot, and they filed lawsuits.
Right.
These are very dishonest people. That's called election interference. These are very, and now they're fighting like hell because they want to try and get a guilty plea from the Supreme Court of the United States, which I can't imagine because you have presidential immunity.
Right.
But strange things happen, but they want to get that because that's the only way they're going to win the election.
Tell them.
It's a very sick thing. But think of it, they waited and waited and waited for years. In fact, nobody thought, everyone was saying they're never going to bring any charges.
Right.
Most people said they're not going to bring them because they don't have anything.
Right.
And then all of a sudden we started getting hit with these lawsuits. And you know, now they're saying, let's run.
Oh, man, that man is having an episode right there. Oh, my goodness. All right, I got to get out of here.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
That's right. You ain't black. You ain't nothing but a modern day slave. I am out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Take care and stay safe. Don't do nothing.